the show.
Hey yo, back again. Uh had a couple different types of videos I wanted to do today, but this won out. And it just coincidentally it won out. Gonna try to do a how could you package comics in a way that Chonko would never cry. And so that's what I'm gonna do. This might be something where I think maybe people might have like certain they might quibble about some of the things, but I think overall generally accepted. Kind of what I'm going to show. I have one slab that's going to be sent out yeah, for an eBay sale that I just made today, and I have a package of raw comics that's going to be sent out as well. So going to show the slab first. How I package slabs. I sell on eBay pretty frequently with 100% positive feedback. And I have for packaging. I have 5 stars for everything I have 5 stars. The only thing I have it's like I've got like a 4.8 in like cost of shipping. But I think there's a reason for that, and I'll go over that as we're talking. But what slab did I sell? And this might surprise some people because I just showed this slab last night on Matt Likes Comics stream, and it's a slab I like. But it's a slab that has gone up so much in price that I listed it and I was like, yeah, man, if somebody wants to pay me that much for it, I'm not married to it. It's not like, a golden age slab, where I'm kind of like married to those things where I don't want to sell those like maybe ever. So it technically is replaceable, even though it is kind of rare. But it is this. That Vampirella Mind Warp. This is the very first Mark Spears cover on a comic book. And there's that little dot on there. Yeah. And kind of what happened was, someone sold one for $300 something, I don't know, a few weeks ago. And I was like, really? I was like, it's that much? So I put it up for $450 or best offer. And I had it hard and fast in my mind. I was like, I'm not selling this thing for even for $350. I'm not selling, but if somebody wants to pay me a lot, I will. And after some negotiation, with someone, it sold for $400 flat. And that's a lot of money for for a modern comic, even though it is what it is. I mean, it is a special comic. It is, Mark Spears' very first comic cover. I couldn't say no to that. So, yeah, I think we're both happy with that, and it's going out today. So this is what I do when I'm sending out slabs that I've sold. I start with I have boxes. This is a brand new box I just put together. It is a 16 by 12 by 4. Now you could use like a 16 by 12 by 3. They make those too. This just is what I had access to. It's and they were like on sale on Amazon. So I got that. And the very first thing I do is I line the bottom with bubble wrap. And these flaps will go kind of around. So it's the bottom is well taped, and secure, so that you're going to be able to put your slab in there. The next thing I have is I have the infamous paper bubble wrap envelope. This is a larger one. I don't know the size, but it's slab sized. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this person's slab along with a couple extras. I always throw in a couple extras that I have. Depending one or two, depending on the amount the person's spending. I think it makes sense, and it's kind of like good business returning customers. But this person's also going to get a Harley Quinn black and white and redder. I bought a stack of these, and it was just like a lot someone was selling. It was like overstock from some like comic shop. I got them for like nothing, but they are cool. They're cool throw-ins, and this is probably like a 9.8. And I got a Delato Spider-Man. As you probably saw the one where I have a version of this signed. I had a few of these. This is not a 9.8. It's got a little bit of a ding right here, but otherwise really nice. I mean 9.6, 9.4 Delato and like an awesome Spider-Man thing. So I think the person will be pretty happy to get those for free. I put those in with the slab, and I'm gonna put them in this brand new bubble wrap envelope. Pull off, and I'm gonna mash it down to size. So now it's all secured in there. It goes down into the box like so, and wrap sides of the bubble wrap around it, and then I'm going to use packaging around it, and on top of it to make sure it's secure in place. I'm not going to subject you to that. I'm going to kind of pause, and we'll fast forward to where I've done that already. Be back right now. So we're back, and it is all bubble wrapped and in there. It's going to be very secure, and I'm going to close the flaps. And what you really want to make sure of is that, as you close all the flaps up, of course, there's no movement. You can't feel that move at all, and that it should be packed well around all the sides, top and bottom, so it is secure as it possibly can be. And we'll get out my old nemesis, the tape, and we're going to do 3 tapes for the top. And the one thing I do is on all these boxes, there's one side where it has been inserted to like create the box. I'll always reinforce that with a little bit of tape. I've never seen that fail, but it could. So I just don't want that one little corner to ever have an issue. So I always reinforce that. And now what you have is a super secure box that anybody will be proud to receive. This is how I package all my slabs. As I said, I sell, I don't know, probably about 3 slabs a week. I would say I average on eBay, and this has been fail proof for me. Next thing is just printing the label, and that's very easy through eBay. You just print it right through there. I was talking about shipping cost. I charge a flat rate. I charge $12 flat for slabs. Now, that's like the one thing where maybe people have hit me on shipping, but it's usually for most places in the U.S. and I only ship in the U.S. slabs. For slabs, I don't ship international, not even Canada or Mexico. It's just too difficult. I would do it for a friend, like if you're one of my friends on here and you needed something, I would absolutely send it. But for sales, it's just too much of a pain. Dealing with that. Or for the international shipping for the contest winner, I did that. But $12 flat, and most places in the U.S. it's gonna be like the end like total for the FedEx label is gonna be like $9.50 to $10, something like that. It's around that for most places. And now, why am I charging more? Well, I'm using really nice packing material. I'm using a really nice fresh box. I'm not recycling a box. I do sometimes if it's like a brand new box from like Bry's or something where it's like basically the same box that I would redo. But the bubble wrap and everything, and it's just kind of another $1.50 to $2 or something like that, so yeah, I think the price is fair, and I have negotiated with people about that in the past, and I've regretted it. So that's what I do, and I think I've never had anybody unhappy, but like I said, I have had a couple people where they're like, oh well, can't you just send it, USPS and just put it in and I'm like, no, man, I've gone away from USPS completely. I think their tracking is a mess. They lose packages for weeks. I just heard a story. A friend of a lot of ours who's going through an issue with USPS right now, and I am opposed. If I can get away from USPS, I try not to use it. So that's a slab packaging. That's what I do. I'd be curious if somebody else has something that they think is better. This works. Whatever you're doing, it's going to arrive to the person. Unless, if somebody runs it over with a truck or something, yeah, well, that could do it. But otherwise, the slab is going to arrive intact. I know some people do a box inside of a box and stuff, but I think this is completely fine. The way that it is, but yeah, you never want to put a slab in just a bubble wrap mailer and send it off to people. I've received slabs like that, and it's just terrible. And yeah, you don't want it rattling around in there. You want it to be secure. You want to treat it with respect, and with respect to the person who bought that from you. Well, for me. It's not technically a business. I want to take it seriously, and I want people to be happy with what they receive. And I think this guy will be really happy with this. So yeah, that's a slab. Going to pause a second, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do a mail out of some raw comics. A little different, a little trickier. Be right back. So for raw books, it's a little trickier, but it's not rocket science. It's pretty much easy if you make it easy. So this is it's what they call a lot of people call this a Gemini mailer. There are different brands. This was one that was used to send to me. I get like a bunch of these every week, and I will reuse these if they're not bent, and it shouldn't be like ratty or anything. You should remove excess tape if there is. But they're really simple. It's already a cardboard reinforced mailer, and all you got to do is put the comics in there, close these, and a little piece of tape here, and it should stay in place. Now, what I do for the inside, that's kind of the part where I think a lot of people mess this up. I can't show you everything because this is going off to a friend, and I think it's a friend of a lot of ours. But Matt likes comics. I'm sending him some comics as a thank you for promoting the channel and that kind of thing. So I have packaged these up. This is basically there are 4 comics in here, and the comics are not taped together. They're taped. There's one backer board on the top, one backer board on the bottom, with just one piece of bubble wrap, and then these a couple pieces of mailers of painter's tape with a pull tab. So you just create a little pull tab so the person can just pop that right off. They don't have to cut. There's no risk of cutting your comics because you're cutting through a bunch of tape. This is stable. It's not. These aren't going to move around inside of the mailer, so you're safe. And inside of this is going to arrive safely, unless there was like some tragic accident. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put them in the little mailing thing, and this kind of collapses down, and it will kind of like collapse to size, and it really does hold them in place securely. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take one nice piece of tape, and we're gonna tape the flaps down. You don't need to be taping it inside, all that nonsense. And we're going to tape that. The comics will stay in there, I promise you. And then it's just a matter of, this kind of collapses all the way around. It will kind of collapse to fit. And I think you can probably fit, I don't know, maybe you could go like 7 comics in here. Maybe I wouldn't go much more than that, but it kind of collapses to size. And then all you're going to do is enough tape. Like, you don't have to mummy the tape around it. You do have to tape it so it's secure. I mean, you don't want it to be, coming loose. So I'm going to tape across the flap first. So a piece of tape all the way across the flap where it joins. And I'm going to reinforce it with a few other pieces of tape. Just, again, you don't want too much tape because it doesn't really add to it, and all it does is make somebody have to cut through. On this package, it's not that big of a deal. Inside is inside is where it's a much bigger deal to have too much tape because the person has to cut around that. If you pull at it and there's like not pull tabs, that you can bend your comics. So most people are going to cut that tape, and there's a risk of cutting the comics. So extra tape and just tons and tons of tape, it's not reinforcing anything. On the outside, I think, you have to have it where, I mean, you obviously don't want this thing to come loose. You don't want to have it where it, these can come apart or something like that. But the end result kind of looks like this. I mean, it's taped well across this and secure, and it goes all the way around to leave this intact. You can feel this when you shake it. These comics are not moving around. They're safe and secure inside of this packaging. Now, I want to speak directly to the bent up diaper box people. Now, I know there are people who have been shipping comics for a very long time, and they're accustomed to just cutting apart cardboard boxes and putting some tape around it and putting it in a paper envelope and sending it off and hoping it arrives. Now, I am aware that in the 90s, that's what you had to do. That there weren't options. You had to kind of figure out what you could do. And most people were doing it the way that they would mail, like a photograph in the years past. But I can tell you the only comics I've ever received that have been damaged were packaged in the bent up diaper box with a bunch of tape. And it's also, you got to cut through that tape again, risk of running, cutting the comic, and all it does is just piss people off. And you're certainly taking way more time. And I think that the cost that you're saving is negligible. I can't imagine that if you're doing that in mass, the counterpoint to it is, well, you're probably saving maybe $1.50 or something by doing it that way. These mailers run about $2, or they're free if you buy comics online. You're gonna get a bunch of these. So I would show you something. I just received something today. This is a Gemini style mailer with do not bend on it and everything. But look what happened here. Now, what I'm going to say about this is some mailman tried to press this into my mailbox, and if this were bent up diaper box, this would be bent in half to fit into my mailbox or into any mailbox or whatever. But it's clearly been bent by someone, and this kept it relatively intact. I mean, there's a little bit of a flex there, but I mean, if you look inside, these comics, I'm certain they're okay. I haven't opened it yet. We'll make sure. But the point is the bent up diaper box style it doesn't work in this case. You can write whatever you want on the package, and it's still dunce cap dog shit. and I think you're not going to be able to defend it to me. Again, the only comics I've ever received that have been damaged were packaged with the bent up cardboard stuffed into an envelope, and I think again, that there are modern solutions. These packages are kind of rated for this. I mean, in my opinion, I would call it even validated. I've received so many and never had damage due to the packaging. The only time I ever had one where it was weird was there was like a puncture, but it still was fine. It's still but that one I would have been concerned about it but that I don't know what you could do about that. I mean, except shipping metal or something. But I've never had damage for somebody shipping in a Gemini style mailer, And I've had at least 3 episodes with the bent up diaper box. Not to mention just the raw aggravation of having to cut through all that tape, and just how it's 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 not respecting the hobby. It's just not. You you have access to good packaging now, and you should use it. I mean, I think if you're shipping a lot of boxes, if you're shipping a lot of comics, it means you're selling a lot of comics, I would imagine, and you should take that seriously. And also you should take your time seriously. What are you doing? Like, you're cutting up cardboard like 5 times a day and wrapping them, mummying with tape. And if you're not sending comics that often, then this is not expensive. So again, respect the comics. Anyway, that's it. And I think if you follow these Chonko tips, you'll have no Chonko tears on the other end. You'll have happy people receiving happy comics that they're happy to read or display or whatever they like with what they're getting on the other end. And you'll have like Chonko on a video saying, "Gold star, good packaging." Yeah. I mean, I'll still find something to bitch about probably, but I imagine if I even received my own packaging, why does he need to put this extra? And I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think my packaging is actually really good, and there are a lot of people who do package very, very well. I always try to make that point. It's just there's such a proliferation of poor packaging to like just marginal packaging. Someone asked me about making a video like this of what I think good packaging is, and I figured I would do that. And anyway, I hope Matt really likes these comics that he's getting, and I hope the dude who paid me $400 for that slab, I hope you really, if you're watching this, or if anybody knows the guy, I hope that guy is really happy with what he received too. Yeah, I mean, I could regret selling that, by the way. Like, if Mark Spears continues to, gain in popularity, and that book is not common, that could be $1,000 comic book someday. But I'm willing to run the risk for now, because I did not pay that much for that comic. Okay, that's it for tonight, buddies. Still a 22-minute video. Man, I didn't think it was going to be that long. Hope you're doing well. Hope your week's going great. Hope all the people in your life are doing well. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Join the somebody wrote Chonko Mania today, but the Chonko Maniacs out there, maybe it'll be a thing. Maybe there will be a Chonko Maniacs T-shirt in the future. Maybe we'll, if I ever get to the place where I can have actual the members. If I could ever have that, maybe they'll be called the Chonko Maniacs. I don't know. We'll think about that. It's still pretty preliminary, but I think it's funny. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, please. Cheers. Bye, buddies.